Yonder spoilers reveal Victor warns Kyle about Claire's shady actions. Has always been a symbol of toughness and strategy in the family. He is a man who is not afraid to confront anyone, especially when it involves the interests and honor of the family. This time, Victor has an important conversation with his granddaughter, Claire Newman, to clarify the confusion and instability related to Kyle, a character who is causing turmoil in Claire's life. Claire Newman, with a youthful but no less sharp spirit, enters Victor's office with a determined look. Even though she is her own granddaughter, she is not easily subdued by her grandfather's cold gaze. Claire asks about Kyle, a mysterious figure in her life. "Grandpa, what really happened to Kyle? I feel like things are not as they seem." Victor, as always, is in no hurry to answer. He slowly looked at Claire, his eyes seeming to penetrate her soul. "Claire, you must understand that in this Newman family, not everything is easy and transparent. There are things that need to be kept secret to protect the family." The conversation became more tense when Victor turned the conversation to another issue, the relationship between Claire and Ian. "You should be careful with Ian. There is something wrong with this relationship, Claire. You are smart, but sometimes your naivety can lead to being taken advantage of." Claire frowned slightly. She knew Victor's tricks, but what he said was not without reason. "Are you suspicious of Ian? Do you always think that anyone close to you has bad intentions?" Victor did not dodge. "Claire, this is not a matter of suspicion. This is the truth that I have witnessed over the years. This family cannot survive without being vigilant against all threats." Although Claire did not fully agree with Victor's approach, she could not ignore the question about Kyle. Victor, although steadfast in his principles, could not refuse outright. In the end, he decided to touch on the sensitive issue: Kyle is not who you think he is. You need to reconsider this relationship before it goes too far. Claire, feeling hurt and confused, still held her ground. "Kyle is not perfect, but I believe he is sincere to me. You cannot just use prejudice to ruin everything." Claire's confession. Faced with Victor's steadfastness, Claire suddenly confessed, "Yes, Grandpa. I am in love with Kyle. I know it may not please you, but I want to give this relationship a chance. Kyle is not what you think." Victor immediately expressed his dissatisfaction. "Claire, love can blind you. Kyle is not the right person for you. He has too many secrets, and this relationship will only lead to disappointment." Although Victor did not want to hurt Claire, he knew that he had to make it clear, "You must understand that if you continue, this relationship will not go anywhere, at least not without the family's acceptance." Underneath his calm appearance, Victor had already outlined a plan to destroy the relationship between Claire and Kyle. He did not hesitate to use his familiar tricks of investigation, manipulation, and even threats if necessary to protect the family. For Victor, everything could be sacrificed, as long as the family was safe and honor was preserved. Claire, although disappointed and a little resentful, still did not turn her back on her grandfather. "Grandpa may think he is always right, but I will not easily give up Kyle just because he disagrees." Victor looked at his granddaughter with troubled eyes. He knew that Claire was more like him than anyone else in the family, strong, determined, and not easily swayed. But at the same time, this also made him worry that she would fall into the same path of suffering as he had experienced. The conversation ended with many questions unanswered. Claire left, determined to protect her love, while Victor remained steadfast in his view that he had to do everything to prevent this relationship. Both, despite their differences in views, realized that family relationships would never be simple, especially when there were conflicts between love and responsibility. In the dim light of the room, Victor sighed, knowing that this battle had only just begun. But for him, family always came first, and he was willing to do anything to protect it, even if it meant hurting Claire. Claire was not someone who was easily swayed. She knew that her grandfather would do everything to prevent her and Kyle, but she did not want to give up. "You may think you're right," Claire whispered as she stood in front of the mirror in her bedroom. "But I won't back down that easily." Little did Victor know that his actions would push Claire further away from him than ever. Subscribe to Yonder for the latest updates.